Dragonheir Silent Gods, the most seriously serious review you'll ever witness, okay? What do we think about the new season? Is it good? Is it something we're going to want to repeatedly do? I asked all the content creators in content creator chat, and they actually were pretty disappointed. Let's start out with some positivity about the game, why we play it, why we love it, why we have faith that it will eventually get to where we want it to be. The visuals are the best for 2023. I haven't played a game that looks this clean and this crisp in a very long time. Everything looks amazing. The heroes, the bosses, the landscape, definitely tell the art department they did an amazing job. This is one of the top things that brings me into any mobile game that I play. The graphics, along with strategy and farming gear, all that needs to be there too, but I do like good graphics. We want those amazing graphics, and this game brings it. The combat is exciting and engaging. If you're looking at the combat and you're used to that turn-based gotcha combat that you've been playing, and this kind of looks like it won't be for you, I'm telling you, try it out. You've got like a tank, you've got a healer, you've got your DPS. There's way more strategy to it than you could imagine just from looking at it. Totally different. Gear farming. I love gear farming. They've got lots of cool gear. They've got lots of farming. The fact that we have seasons, that's a little bit different. We'll talk about that later on, but it does have the gear that I always love to farm. The strategy, the team building, and overcoming content is in here. The strategy that we need to make multiple teams is great. This game does this well. It's not too complicated, but it's complicated enough that we can make some really cool teams and have a really good time making all these strategies. D&D collaboration was absolute fire. Drist and Guinevere look amazing. Again, the art department, but the event was amazing too. The Era 2 event that we had was done really well. I really liked how they did it, how all of our heroes were max level. That way anybody coming into the game new could also participate in it. I think all the D&D collaborations they're going to have for the next 2 years, well, really a year and, 9 months, however long they have left, are going to be really good. There are 2 events during the season for legendaries. The D&D collaboration was one of them. I enjoyed both of those. I thought it was really nice to have something going on to break up the monotony of us fighting all those bosses that we fight for the first 30 days. And then we fought all those same bosses again for the last, it was at 30 days we started fighting them. And then at 60 days, we fought a whole lot more of them. And it was it got a little boring. It felt like the season was too long at that point. I really appreciate that they've given us a rare selector box. And the battle pass is a free rare selector box. So if you're missing any of those really good rares that we need to overcome any of these bosses, you can go get that. And they sold us a 99-cent epic selector box. If you're free to play and you want to keep that free to play tag, I guess you could. But spending 99 cents to me still keeps you free to play, and you should absolutely do it. If you're playing this game every single day, have some fun. Splurge on yourself, spend 99 cents, and get one of those epics that are basically like a legendary. They're that good. World Exploration. This is the new mode that they put into Season 2, to where you go up to this little... you can see this new little small area. You've got different bonuses, little boons that you get for your team once you go up to a pillar, and then the enemies have some too, and you can re-roll it. That's really cool. It's like a small area. You've got some bonuses to help out your team. They've got some bonuses. Maybe when they zone into combat, they've got block debuffs on for 15 seconds. There's all sorts of different ones. Some of them are hard to overcome, so you want to go re-roll those and make them into something different. Those are fun. I'm glad they added that, and we'll probably see that every season coming forward, which I don't mind at all. So here are a few things that I've noticed on Season 2. Now, I just wrote this down. If I had maybe done this for about a week, I'd probably have this sheet full of ideas. So you guys let me know down below. Tell me things that you've noticed about this that is kind of similar to what I'm talking about here. In Season 2, we don't have Erich. So that means that free to play doesn't have a legitimate way to get a legendary artifact. And they didn't really give us, they gave us no rare artifacts in Season 2, 2 epic artifacts that aren't that good, and a whole bunch of legendary artifacts. So how are free-to-play or low spenders supposed to get lucky enough to get a duplicate legendary to get a legendary artifact? This is not right. This is one of the things that I very much critique in any game that I play, that free-to-play should always be able to obtain the same thing that spenders do, but over time. Even if it's a long period of time, that's fine. Being that we don't have Erich every single season, that would be a legendary artifact every 3 months. I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, a year you've got 4 legendary artifacts. There is nothing wrong with that at all. I think that that's really good, and we should have that in the game. And I hope they eventually come up with a way so that we can do that, so that free-to-play will get a legendary. It is too RNG to expect free-to-play to get a dupe legendary. It's hard enough for them to get a legendary, you know, but a dupe? Come on. Arena points don't carry over. This is another thing for free-to-play that hits them really hard. There's a legendary artifact, speaking of artifacts, that you can only get if you get a lot of arena points. And the way to do that is to do fairly well in arena and definitely stay on top of that. And you can acquire this. I believe it's free to play. I'm not sure. I didn't try, but you'd really have to go hard and do well in arena, I think, to get this. And it's a really good legendary artifact. I think everybody should have a chance to get it over time. So our arena points should carry over from season to season, and they don't, which is really sad. The low number of useful rare and epic heroes added to season 2. There's a lot of gimmick heroes. We've got the Thunderbolts, we've got the Burns, and then we have the Ice Blast, which they're cool heroes, but we need heroes that can help us overcome content. We need heroes that can do decrease attack, heal block, remove buffs, block buffs. We need those heroes that are versatile. That's why you don't see a whole bunch of people running around with a whole bunch of rare and epic rally guys, because they're just giving rally to each other. They're not going over, they're not doing anything that we can use to get through the game, to go through story mode, to go through pillars, to go through Fae, to do anything. They're just there to do damage, so it's very limited to where we can use those. Same thing with summons. Why do all summons just summons? Why don't any of those summoners actually do stuff so that we can put up a decreased attack, so that we can get some more healers in some of these things? And I know over time we'll get some more of these heroes, but when I see season 2 and all they're giving us are these gimmick heroes, it's not looking good. Not yet anyways. We'll see if that gets better. The artifacts. We got 0 rare artifacts added in season 2. That's sad. Again, where are you helping out the low spenders and the free to play? 2 epic artifacts, which are pretty much not even good. Almost not even useful for some of the epic artifacts. This one, I don't even know how it works with that additional resistance it gives to our teammates for 15 seconds. Is that right when we zone in? Is that every time we do our ultimate? The artifact doesn't specify, so I don't even know how it works. I need to test it out, but I can't see a buff when I use it. There's no indication that other people are getting that resistance that I saw. So they need to improve on this badly. In content creator chat, I typed this in. Honest question to all content creators: was season 2 what you thought it would be? And if the world bosses are exactly the same, what are your thoughts then? Those are the world bosses that start to pop up at 30 days, like that little Erich, and you have to go in there and get, 7 million damage or whatever it was so you could get an amethyst. We're going to have that event pop up, but then after that 30 days, we fight them again till the end of the season for a whole nother, 25 days until we fight that one boss for like 4 days, the end game boss. You only get to fight that for like 4 days. Are we going to fight those same bosses? Are they going to be exactly the same? Because if they are, I got to tell you, it's not going to go well. There's going to be a lot of people dropping out, because then you're doing the same thing as season 1 and nothing's really changed. But the general consensus was it was pretty disappointing. Season 2 was pretty disappointing. I'm not going to name the content creators' names. I'm just going to do a little overview of what we all talked about. I didn't ask them for permission, and if they want to do a video, they can do it themselves. The Vortex boss is a really sad thing to have happen. We fight the Vortex boss every day in season 1. Every single day from the beginning to the end, and now we have to fight the Vortex boss again without any changed mechanics. So you're using the same old teams. You're just fighting the same old boss over and over. We really thought this boss was going to be different. We really thought it was going to have different mechanics, but yet it's the same. Dungeon bosses, they're pretty much the same. You see us doing the Harpy where it's got an additional orb, but it is really the same thing. We do want to concentrate on those bosses, and we want to think about teams, and we want to work with new metas, but that all comes with doing hero balancing and bringing new heroes into the game that we can do that with. 4 days of the new area. That's what we've got. We came into this new area. They did a huge thing talking about all this underwater stuff. We had 4 days of story, and 4 days of the new area. I've completed the new area. You do go back there every once in a while and do some stuff. I'm pretty sure there's a few things in the newer area that I didn't do, but it wasn't big, and it could have easily been an expansion. We're talking about 3 months, right? 3 months is a time frame that all gacha games, all mobile games usually come out with new content. But that's new content that we replay every week, every month, all the time. So this new content that we got after 3 months was something that we played for 4 days, and then it was gone. That was it. That was our season. That was our season 2, because then we go back to the old land and it's all the same thing that we've already encountered. I've spent 80% of my stamina in season 2 on farming goblin and domains. And that's all I'm going to do for quite a long time, just trying to rebuild up my roster. So season 2 is me just doing that over and over. Season 3, season 4, season 5, most of the time, we're just going to be leveling back up our heroes. That's it. Until we get to the point where we're making new teams. And then we're going to try to get gear, and the double drop rate or the increased drop rate for legendary gear doesn't happen until 30 days into the server. So really you don't even farm gear until 30 days. So for a whole 30 days, all I'm doing, because there's no reason to farm gear, you do not farm for legendary gear until 30 days, because then you get whole pieces of legendary gear. You don't get whole pieces until then. There is no reason to farm. Per stamina, it's not worth it. So all you can do is level up heroes. You get epic gear to where you can get by, to where it's good enough epic gear. You get your runes, and then you just wait. You keep leveling up heroes. So you live in domain and you live in the goblins, and that's your journey for the whole 30 days. And then at 30 days, you start to really get that legendary gear, and then you start to really rock in some of those world bosses that pop up. The first event for us to go get that first legendary hero like we did with the Amethyst, and then we start rocking. But it's a very slow, gated 30 days, which I find not enjoyable at all. Heroes without the gimmicks to overcome bosses in dungeons. We've already touched on this a lot. Heroes without that rally gimmick, or with that gimmick, but also give us a whole bunch of useful heroes that we can use to overcome these bosses in dungeons. These burn heroes, we can use them at in-game for speed runs if we're strong enough. If we have our elemental affinity all the way maxed out, sure, we can use them then. We could also use what we've already used. It's not like we need these burn units. We want new heroes. That's the thing. We do want new heroes, but we want to get not only the gimmick heroes, we need these gimmick heroes to also give us more. Give us those buffs and debuffs that we normally get from the heroes that really get us through these bosses and dungeons. Hero balancing. I'm really surprised that we didn't see any kind of hero balancing for season 2. I believe every season, which is 3 months, that's when we get balancing in all other games that we play, roughly around every 3 months. Sometimes it's longer, I know that. But we need the hero balancing. We want to switch up the meta. You want to shake things up. You don't want to nerf things too badly. You do want to bring up other heroes that aren't functioning well. If you're bringing up legendaries that aren't that great, then it's going to shake some things up. It's going to put them into a new category. We're going to find ways to use them. If there are epics that are just complete trash, which, man, we've got some, balancing needs to happen again to breathe new life into the game so that people want to play. So they'll get excited. We'll make some new, we'll get to do a whole bunch of new theory crafting. We'll build new heroes, new teams. That's what it's all about. That's where the fun is. New heroes have no synergy with your older heroes, Burns and Wilds, Thunderbolt and Dauntless. Why? If you pull a few burn heroes to go with your older wild heroes, that would be cool. That would be exciting. We can start to mix and match. We've got a burn guy named Durham. He's a legendary dwarf, and he only gives buffs to other burn heroes. Why doesn't he give buffs to other burn heroes as well as wild heroes? That would give them a really cool, strong buff. Now that might be too much, but still, we need stuff like that. We need to be able to do more and not be limited by less, right? We need to be able to make more teams, more interesting teams. Thunderbolt, Dauntless, we've got Frost along with Ice Blast. Those guys should definitely be able to do something together. They're all in the same element. We did talk about the bosses being the same. If the bosses are the same, the world bosses, like that little Erich, that little Oster, the Biome Free, whatever the ones that we fought, if they are exactly the same at 30 days, and then we go another 30 days, and we close out the month with us fighting the exact same bosses again, that means we're going to be playing a lot of the same teams that no strategy redone, no thinking of new strategies. I mean, it's you can't have a season to where we're resetting heroes, we're losing all the gear, and we're going back and just doing the same exact thing as season 1. Nobody's going to stay here and play this game. Nobody will be here. This just does not work. So we'll have to see if the bosses are like that. And then at the end of the season, we fight the in-game boss, which was a big dragon, but we only got to fight that dragon for 4 days. Some people got to fight it for 5 days because once it died, it was gone. And we're going to fight this new crab. So we do get a new boss. We're going to have to come up with new ways to fight this boss, I would assume, but we're only going to be able to fight that new in-game boss for like 4 or 5 days. Final thoughts here. The community is divided. Please, if you ever make a mobile game or any game, do not have players on different seasons, different summon banners, etc. Do not ever do this. This to me is a massive, massive misstep. You never want a game to where your buddy is on a different summoning banner than his friends, or trying to talk about content that he's working on that his buddy has no idea what it is. What's happening is people are asking about content when they're on, and we have to ask them, what season are you on and what day are you on? And I can't go back and help you out myself because I'm on season 2, so I can't show you something from season 1. I can't take heroes then and try to do something new for you. This is the worst thing I have ever seen in a game. When you advertise that season 2 is coming out and people see all this season 2 advertisement, you're spending millions of dollars as a company to advertise about season 2, and somebody starts the game and they're asking, where is all this season 2 stuff? Where is all this under the sea pirate stuff at? I don't see it. And we have to explain to them that they won't see it for 90 days. This blows my mind. It makes no sense for player retention. It makes no sense for community. It makes no sense for any sense ever in the world. This just does not work. So if you ever make a game, do not do your game like this. And maybe this company will wise up and make sure that everybody goes into season 3 when season 3 starts. Remember, they're going to be on the same servers they're on with the same people they've been playing with. They're not going to be thrown in with higher players. So if all players start on season 3 when season 3 starts, they're with the same people they were with before. If you're a brand new player, you're going to play on a brand new server with brand new people. So there's no advantage. You're playing with the same people that you played with before. But then everybody's on the same thing. When you advertise that something's happening, they'll all actually be able to join the game and see what you're advertising. When we talk about banners that are coming up, when they look at banners and their friends look at banners and their cousins and their mothers and everybody else, they'll all be on the same banner. They'll all be able to talk about the same thing and be on the same page and know what the hell's going on, instead of everybody right now in this game playing on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, every kind of day you can think of, any different season you can think of. Everybody is at different spots, and you never want to do that. Do not do that. Somebody did make a comment in Discord saying if you count the end of the season and the level phase, there's only 2 to 3 months of the year where you're just waiting. Like 2 to 3 months of the year where you're just like me in Goblin, running Goblin all the time, doing your domains, and you're not even really doing anything else. You're just going back through the motions for about 2 to 3 months out of the year. I can understand that. I believe that. Seasons. Can't this be done a different way? I firmly believe that seasons should be done a different way. Now, this is my own personal opinion. I would never do this reset mechanic. I think it is killing the game. I think there are so many people that have left because of this that it's astronomical. This could have been the game of the year. This could have been the biggest game of 2023, I believe, hands down, if it was done properly. But there were so many missteps, so many people that we've lost, that they would really have to do a 360, 180, whatever we got to do to get everybody back in here. And seasons aren't working the way they're done. We can do seasons to where we don't do resets, to where we bring in new continents like they did, and those would be expansions. But with the season, we just reset leaderboards all the time. We reset Fae all the time. We can reset leaderboards. We can even come out with new gear pieces without resetting gear. There's a lot of things they could do with seasons without us having to go back through and just level up our heroes. I don't even believe this is like a rush mechanic for leaderboards. If there's a whale on your server, they're going to win all the leaderboards anyways, because they have max inspired heroes. They can buy the battle pass and then buy the battle pass. Did you know you could spend like 8,000 crystals and complete the battle pass on day 1 and have like 35 120 staminas. You can have all those staminas right away when the battle pass comes out. And then they're going to buy 4 bread every day. And they've got those 5 inspired heroes. You can't compete, guys. You cannot compete. And it doesn't matter to compete. What matters is having fun and enjoying yourself. They can have these new stories every season without resetting our heroes down. They can have these dungeons, be competitive and be strategic and have us focus on them. They can do a lot of stuff without having us go back down to level 1. And having us just do this. And this all comes to me wanting it to be more exciting, because seasons have to be exciting for us to want to go do it all over again. It's got to be. So you guys let me know your thoughts down below. A lot of rambling, I'm sorry, but if you made it this far, please type something below and let me know what you think is good or bad about this. Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Appreciate your love and support. I will see you all in a video soon.